And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Copenhagen Roll and Write. Copenhagen is one of the breakout family game hits that came out this year, kind of a Tetris-y style game in which you would take Tetris shapes by playing cards and getting cards and dropping them and building a building of sorts, you know, kind of looking like Copenhagen, and filling in rows and columns. It's a pretty neat game, very simple, very easy to get into, and so here is the roll and write version because we make a roll and write version of every game these days. Is it any good? Let's find out. Each player is going to be getting one of these sheets here, and then one of these sheets is placed in the middle of the table for all the players. The game is going to go until one player gets to 12 points, and then whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. So not a lot of points in this game. You're going to get so by putting shapes into this. On your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice. You're then going to pick some dice of one of the colors. Here it seems pretty obvious. I'm going to pick red dice. So I'll take 3 red dice, for example, and I can build a shape that's 3 or less of red. So I'm looking at here, and the 3 or less red one looks like this, like an L shape. And it shows the infinity symbol, so I can use those as many times as I want. If, for example, I had rolled 4 red, and a white can count as any color you want, I could use one of these shapes here, but if I do that, I'll then cross that off so that nobody else can use that shape for the rest of the game. Regardless, whatever the shape is, let's say I got the L shape, I would draw it like this. I would draw it in my area. It has to be, it follows basically Tetris rules where it has to hit the bottom. You can rotate it and do whatever you want to it when it lands. And then you put O's in all the spaces except you put an X in one of them. So I would put an X maybe in that spot there. And so once you've done that, everybody else, let's say for example I did the 3 reds like this, everybody else will pick one of the leftover dice that you've rolled, and they're just going to mark off a spot in that column, in that row. These are the abilities. So maybe I picked purple and did one in purple. I could have picked green if I want to. You already start with 2 in a red, and that's because on your turn, as you fill these in, they're going to give you special abilities, and you can cross those abilities out to use them. So in the top one, you can cross off a star ability to re-roll dice, as many dice as you want. In this one, you can cross off abilities to make all the things in your shape O's and no X's. Here I can use an ability to put a single X square anywhere on the board. Here I can change the color of dice with the abilities, and here I can use a shape that's already been crossed off. So what am I trying to do? By the way, if you get to the end of one of these, you'll also get 2 points, which you'll cross off up here. But as the game goes by, let's say later on I build a shape like this and did that. If you complete an entire row, you're going to get a point. If there are no X's in the row, in which case there's not, you'll get 2 points. If you complete a whole column, you'll get 2 points, and if there are no X's in it, you will get 4 points. So completing rows and columns is what you want to do. If you completely fill in a row that's next to the coat of arms, you can cross off that coat of arms and it gives you 2 abilities. You can either draw a single square anywhere you want, putting an O in it, or you can mark off 2 spots on one of your ability tracks. That's it. So remember, getting to the end of the ability track gives you 2 points. Here right now, I have 1, 2, 3 points already on here. So you can see that the game is going to keep going until someone gets to 12 points. You'll finish out the round. And you'll also notice there's some coat of arms on these columns too. And it's up to you how you're going to play through the game. That's it. The game comes with a lot of double-sided, full-color sheets to cross off, and that's very nice. As I always do with these type of games, if I plan to keep them, I laminate the sheets, which is a lot easier to do, but it's nice. The dice themselves are okay. Again, they're using red and green, which are easily mixed up. I wish they had kind of maybe put some symbols on the dice or something to differentiate between the colors. But be that as it may, the game is not that difficult to play. The rule book's pretty small, and the box is a nice thin box. This is a new box size that Queen has been using lately, which is pretty easy to put on your shelf. I enjoyed Copenhagen Roll and Write, and that's about the extent of it. By that I mean, it's okay. Which unfortunately is a little bit of faint praise, I suppose, because there are so many roll and write games out there. I don't know that this one differentiates itself that much. I also, while it does simulate a lot of things that are in Copenhagen, I wonder, I would prefer just to play Copenhagen. Why play this? Now you could argue and say, yes, but this is a small box size. This is easy to carry around. I get it, and that is definitely a thing. But at the end of the day, I think I would prefer to play the bigger game or a different roll and write. Now, I don't mind the basic concept of this game where you roll dice and you get a shape. But here's the thing. If you're not the active player, this game is pretty boring because they're going to roll and try to re-roll and get a better shape. And so if they leave you with one die, guess what color you're crossing off this turn? That color. Or two dice, you cross off one of those two colors. It's just not that interesting. There's not a lot of different things to do as the passive player. As active player, sure, you get a shape, but even then, your shape is pretty much determined by the color you roll. If I roll 3 greens, guess what? I'm putting a green shape in my thing. Now, yes, you have some ability to build up a column or build rows faster, and where you put your X matters. But at the end of the day, this is one of the easiest, simplest roll and writes, and there's some good to that, right? Because I could teach this as someone who's never played a roll and write. But I would argue that Yahtzee probably has more strategy than this particular game does. Yahtzee has a lot more strategy than people think. But it's pleasant, it's inoffensive, it's simple, and yet I didn't feel this, ooh, come back and play some more. It just felt okay. I didn't dislike it. It was fine. And it wasn't overly convoluted, which is good. The rule, the things are simple and it's bright and colorful. But again, I could say all those things about Copenhagen too. So this game is unfortunately attacked by two things. There are better roll and writes, and then there's the better base game, Copenhagen. It puts these two together in something that some people will enjoy. Maybe you'll like it a lot. For me, I found it okay, but also kind of forgettable. So that's what you have, Copenhagen Roll and Write. Dice Tower Judgment? Nice.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.